Oh, welcome into our first episode, our first team preview of the 2025 MLS season. That's right. We're going to be bringing you all team previews for all 30 MLS teams. That's right. There are 30 teams now. We're going to be bringing you the stacks we think is nice, who's taking corners, a little bit of info for the team, what we can look forward to. And yeah, things are going to change. Things are getting crazy around the MLS. Last night we saw Cucho Hernandez leave, but we're not talking about them. We have ZM Star here because we're going to be talking Inter Miami, getting it started. Coach Messi already decided who was going to come play for them, so we think the team's pretty set. So this is a great place to start, but who knows? Neymar might just end up there anyway because it's MLS, baby, and it's what it is. But ZM Star, we're going to get into it. We're going to try to keep these short. As you can probably tell, we're not doing these live either because we just have so much fun talking to y'all in the chat that we'll be here for hours, and we're going to try to keep these short and sweet just so you can get in and out. There's a lot of teams, a lot of info to get through, so we're going to get into it. So, Zach, let's get started with who left the team. All right. So then we could start focusing on who came in. So kind of talk to me about who left, who stood out to you, who are you upset that left? And we can go from there.
All right. Yeah. So probably the two guys that I'm gonna miss the most are Gomez, but I mean he was just too good for the MLS. Like I get it, and my boy CJ Dos Santos also out of here. Close to my heart. Portuguese now starter in San Diego looks like. And then, of course, Campana would probably be the biggest removals this offseason. A couple of those other guys, like Rojas, was pretty decent last year. Farias, unfortunately, towards ACL in the preseason, never got to play. And then the other guys were just kind of roster fillers who never really fit what the team or Tata wanted to do. So, and they had to make the space. Like they had to make the space, as we'll talk about the incomings, because apparently what we needed to do was buy 25 international slots, which we've been still buying up until last week to fill these holes.
Yeah, those international spots, man. They're very sought after commodities in this league. No, I agree. Campana leaving was rough. I was a big fan of Campana with Luis Suarez's bum knees. Obviously, coming in and he was just effective off the bench so many times. Yeah, Diego Gomez, incredible record sell to Brighton for 13 mil. He will be missed, but yeah, I think you were right. He was a little too good. But tell me about who you guys brought in. Who are you excited to see? Who do you expect a lot out of outside of, Barcelona 2005?
Yeah, so outside the Barca boys, I mean, I expect big things. So there's some unknowns here, but the younger guys that we brought in, like Segovia, is a very interesting player. Unfortunately, we're still having a green card issue, so he hasn't been able to get any practice in with the team.
Classic.
Same with Maxi Falcone, who I'm also very excited about. The issue with Falcone is if he's going to end up starting with Aviles, they both have a tendency to accumulate yellows and reds. But there's a lot of anger back there, so that's pretty good on the back line if it goes down like that. Lujan is interesting. People in the Inter Miami circles do not care for Weigott. He annoys me at times, but he's actually a pretty good player. Like when you watch him play and what he does and what his role is within the team, I think a lot of times people don't understand when you have these stars, like what the other players are supposed to do on the team. So, I think Lujan is probably going to be the backup, but you never know. Enjoy a good Fafa Pico anytime you can get him going on the pitch, running left, right, and center. So he may end up being backup forward at times. I could see him starting forward. Uh, Allende also looks to be a starter on the wing,
Right.
but he also could back up Suarez on days that he's not playing or making subs. It really depends. We don't know the formation 100% until basically 4 players can report to the team and actually play.
Yeah, that's kind of tough.
Martinez,
Like
yeah,
missing a couple like key signings. It's like, hey, they're here, but we don't really know what they're gonna do, or we haven't seen them yet
yeah,
because green card issues, because
or how they
MLS.
fit. Yeah, it's crazy. But and then after that, Rios Novo, everybody loves in the circles that they don't want Drake to be starting. They want Rios Novo because he's better with his feet, and it's to be seen what Miami wants to do. Drake is kind of terrible playing the ball at his feet. We've seen that plenty. But he's a big time shot stopper. I'm behind Drake this year. I don't think he makes it past this year, to be honest, though.
Right. So do you think that there's, and you're saying that Novo is obviously like highly talked about, is there a chance that he could win out the starting spot at some point?
It's definitely possible. I mean, he's going to probably get the majority of the run until we get an update on Drake's injury. He'll probably play more than Ustari, I'm going to guess.
Right.
Just to get the reps in, and then maybe even into the first cup, it might be Ustari, but the first cup match with SKC.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. It'll be something to watch. Obviously, we hate goalkeeper shenanigans here on Sorare because those rotations. And look, it's messy. It's Miami. They're going to be playing a lot of games. They're going to be playing in every competition. They're going to be playing CONCACAF Champions League. I think you guys are in Open Cup and Leagues Cup as well, too, right?
Just leagues. Oh, and
Oh,
Miami too is playing in Open.
right. And then throw in the Club World Cup too.
Yeah, Club World Cup.
So Miami's going to be playing a lot of matches. They obviously brought in a lot of depth, a lot of guys, and we will see them. We'll have to end up seeing what Sorare does as far as those cup competitions. They don't typically cover the Open Cup, but as far as CONCACAF Champions Cup, it's been covered. Leagues Cup for all the shenanigans around that. Hopefully this year is better. And then we'll see if they do decide to do anything during the Club World Cup this summer. It'll be a big tournament, too expensive to attend, so we'll all be watching.
Yeah,
we'll
do some watch alongs.
Yeah, maybe we'll do some watch alongs because $600 for nosebleeds is not something I am into. So as far as Miami, right? You guys made it to the playoffs, and just completely got embarrassed. Okay, it wasn't necessarily the season you thought. It was everyone was screaming off the rooftops that it was Miami's year. How do you feel going into this season with all the changes, all the turnovers, new coach? It's basically Messi's team now. Not even the front office is safe. So kind of like you personally, like, what are your expectations for this team going into the year?
Personally, I think we're even in a potentially worse situation than last year.
Ooh,
but
really?
There's more games to be played this year than there were last year. We're already playing more games. Last year was an incredible run. We set the points record. Never, it might be a while before somebody else takes that record away. But the unknowns of this year, it's not that we have a new coach. We have an unknown new coach who does not have a lot of experience. Like, that's a big
youth
one.
Experience, right? Just youth.
Yeah, youth experience. Argentinian youth Olympics. But that's not enough to to deal with the rigors of the MLS. I feel like it's a rough league to travel, and when things are going bad, it's hard to manage all that. Now, I know we say it's Messi's team, and he's calling the shots, and rightfully so, I guess. So it's Messi's team now, and I don't care that he's bringing in the coach he wants, the players he wants. He wants his friends around. He just wants to try to win this league and this turn and the MLS Cup. And after he's gone, the team will have to figure out what they're going to do. But right now, I'm not so caught up in Messi makes all the decisions, and that's a bad thing, personally. We get to still watch that guy play.
I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just kind of funny. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. But anytime I start feeling bad about my team, I now just get to think about the Dallas Mavericks, and I'm like, could be worse.
R.I.P. Luka Doncic and the trade that broke the internet.
Yeah.
No, honestly, it's one of those things where if you're gonna have Messi, you keep Messi happy. You want him to perform, you want him to put on a show, and you do whatever it takes to make him happy. Obviously, he's the face of the league. He's gonna take Major League Soccer to the promised land. So we do whatever it takes. No, it'll be an interesting season. It'll be a little ups and downs, a lot of new pieces coming in. That's always difficult, even if you have Lionel Messi.
At this point, I'm happy. A successful season now is the MLS Cup. That's it. The other stuff sort of is irrelevant. We've won Leagues Cup. We won the Shield. We need MLS Cup. I don't consider Champions Cup even remotely in the view right now.
Whoa! Put some
I mean,
respect on the
listen.
CONCACAF Champions Cup.
No, I mean us winning it. I'm just saying I don't think we're there. Like
Yeah.
to compete for it at this moment, and then forget about the Club World Cup. Like, forget that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if we finish like third in the table, like to me, that's successful
Right.
in
So home
going into the
playoff spot
playoffs.
and
Yeah,
MLS Cup.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's really all that's really left up for grabs at this point after last season. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, I don't care to see them do well, but it's messy. Whatever. I just pretend he's wearing a different kit and watch him do some magical stuff.
Yeah.
I will bring up some important things though, like not to anyone's surprise or anything, but guess what? Lionel Messi took the most corners last season with third. Well, didn't because Julian Gressel did, but
Yes.
either way,
But Gressel
Julian
probably
Gressel.
won't be seeing the field all that much this go round. So
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't really see him being that effective other than cup games and stuff like that. Some rotation that might not even be covered, and then of course Lionel Messi as well, taking most free kicks and crosses. As far as so rare, you were already playing Lionel Messi anyway, so it kind of sucks that you don't get that production somewhere else for your team. It's all going to Messi,
mm,
but there are a few options there. You see Robert Taylor can take some corners as well, as long as Jordi Alba, and then yeah, Julian Gressel on the field when he is on will take a good chunk of those too. So something to look at. As far as big chances per game, they were creating about 3.1 big chances per game. Big chances missed per game were 1.7. That was probably thanks to Brad Guzan. Dude,
uh,
12
yep.
shots per game, man, with almost
Yeah.
half of them on target. So you're going to get that attacking power. Clean
And half
sheets, they
of
had
that is Messi.
6.
That's another
Yeah.
thing. Half of that is Messi.
Yeah. They did hold 6 clean sheets, not the greatest. They were conceding about 1.5 goals a game. Which isn't great. So you're kind of, I think we're focusing more on the attacking stacks. It's pretty much of a given that you could play the whole Miami team stack, but as far as it, you really kind of want to focus on the attack. A little Messi, a little Suarez, and Jordi Alba, I guess, is a
Okay.
defender card, but he's basically a winger. So
Yeah. If you were gonna take cards, those are the cards you're looking at.
yeah. As far as the other ones though, like if you did want to run a stack, Zach, what do you think would be the stack to run? Obviously, Messi, Alba, and probably Luis Suarez are locked in there. But what are you looking at for the other two?
So for the other two, I mean, I still back Drake as far as the keeper goes to start the season, and then in the mid, I mean, it's probably going to be Busquets. I know that Redondo could be your other choice. He needs to kind of step up a little bit more this year for me to like trust him. And then software wise, it's hard to say what his scores will be. But with the newest additions on defense, Busquets will not be playing center back, and he shouldn't be dropping so deep to pick up the ball. Where he operates best is on the other half of the line, picking and choosing like those balls to Messi and those guys like those through balls. So I think Busquets is going to end up having a good year. His L15 kind of supports that. He's pretty consistent about what you get from him. And then, can Suarez put up 20 goals again? That's the other question.
Yeah, I mean, nobody believed last year. They're like, oh, he's old, he's
Yeah.
hurt, he's limping around. And dude, he was just a scoring machine. He just continued to do it. He shut up all the doubters. I do agree with the Sergi Busquets thing. He did play a lot of last year at center back, and him kind of moving back up into the midfield, being able to put in those progressive passes, creative passes. Who knows if he starts getting a little bit more decisives into his game too? That could be a really big thing. But if Sergi Busquets and I think he played like every game last year. I don't really think he missed
I,
much.
yeah, I think he only missed. I think he missed one to accumulation. I,
Yeah.
I think. I think it was one to accumulation. But yeah,
So
he
it's one of
plays.
Yeah, so it's one of those things he's going to play. He can potentially get some, assists in there. And like you were saying at the beginning, you guys are missing guys with green cards, everything. There's going to be a lot of rotation with CONCACAF Champions League starts. Those games start even before the season starts, so they're going to be rolling
Yeah.
really early. So hey, maybe you start with a little Busquets, and then hey, if anybody else pops up, anybody else starts showing out, then you go ahead and replace that too. But I do agree that a calendar Alba, Busquets, Messi, and Suarez stack would probably be the one you want to focus on. As of recording this right now on Sorare data, it says you could pick it up for about $67 the stack. Obviously, like 98% of that is Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
So you're really paying for Messi and friends.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad stack, man. We saw them
No.
last year. We saw them play really well. I mean, they finished first. They won the Supporter Shield. They were what? First in XG, first in shots on target. Like it's this team's just gonna run over everybody again in theory.
Yeah, yeah. And, I mean, listen, they're going to be offensive, like that much we do know. And so, who gets it and how does it all work out is to be determined. Like, I hope Messi plays more games in MLS this year than he did last year. He did miss some time,
Yeah.
um, just because I want more hundreds in my Sorare lineups. I just want more hundreds. So, but if he plays more, then expect more from everybody else. That's when he's on the field, everybody else's scores go up,
Yeah.
and that's just
Well,
kind of what we expect.
when you're a big baller like Zach and you have that rare Messi just sitting in your gallery, I think you want him to play. Like, you really want to make sure he's out there. But hey,
Yeah,
there's a lot of cup tournaments, but there's really no international tournaments this year. Anything major anyway. Um, so that should kind of keep him here a little bit longer, and hopefully he doesn't get hurt in the nonsense that's Conable.
yep.
But let me kind of before we get out of here, let me kind of theory craft you a little bit.
All right.
How much how much do you think people are actually going to attack Miami? Obviously because of Messi, so we're focuses on collections well. Do you think there's going to be a lot of people playing Miami stacks to the point where like maybe you kind of want to fade it a little bit or kind of run those attacking with Alba and then maybe switch up the goalkeeper or switch up the Biscuits for somebody else?
So right off the bat, we probably know that Miami is the most expensive in-season team, right? So they'll be the most prohibitive in terms of cost for people wanting to run that stack. I am guessing, and if you're going to go out and play in-season Miami, if you're not buying Messi, then don't bother. Like I would probably if I'm buying Messi, I'm buying more Inter Miami guys. If I'm only going to buy one Inter Miami guy, it's going to be Alba. If I couldn't get the Messi, Alba would be the guy, and then I would start venturing off and looking for like replacements of those guys within the league. I would say it's MLS, so even if you're running into Miami stacks, more often than not, I don't think they're going to win week over week. It's just it just doesn't work that way in the MLS. Like it's not a Bayern Munich situation or like a
Yeah.
PSV. It just doesn't work that
I
way.
mean, it's a Barcelona situation, so it's
Yeah.
a calendar and Barca friends is what you're looking
Yes.
at.
So yeah, if you're gonna get the Messi, go for it and get the whole team and run it out because you'll have a lot more fun watching the game. But if you can't afford the Messi, try to get the Alba and then start looking around.
No, I really like that you said that because yeah, no, that does make sense. Like if you're really going to go for Miami, if you don't pay up for the Messi, like there's really no point because everybody that
Yeah.
does have the Messi, like they're just going to blow you out of the water. It doesn't matter what you do. But I do like the Alba call too. I think it's a pretty common thought that Jordi Alba is probably going to be one of the best defenders in MLS, especially if Kai does leave. He's still here apparently. It's
Still
not
here.
really going through. I thought he was gone. I thought he was gone
Me
weeks ago.
too.
Like I was already on the
Me too.
assumption that he's gone. But the European window is starting to close, so the options are starting to dwindle down a little bit. But Philly's selling everybody, so who knows Kai's future? But I
I
do
mean, I don't
think
know.
that
Kai's
Jordi
future
Alba,
could be a inter-league maneuver at this point.
ooh, it could
You
be,
know, that could happen, I guess, at this moment because
yeah,
yeah, the offers have kind of dried up, and I don't
yeah,
know.
it could be, but we'll see. But Jordi Alba should have a really good season. He was awesome last year, and again, you
Yep.
have that Alba Messi connection. You're gonna have a good time. I do want to point out too that to start off the season, man, Miami plays SKC twice, which Champions League is usually covered. They have NYCFC at home, which should be a dub, and then they have the just disaster that's Houston right now, even with Jack McGlynn. So their first four games should be pretty nice. They'll be fresh. They'll be rested, even though they're traveling the
Yeah.
world right now for preseason again. And then they run
Then we
into
run.
Charlotte and Atlanta, and then things start to get a little spicy.
Yeah. And then it
Um,
gets a little tougher.
yeah. But those first four games, man, you should be able to sneak some stuff out there. You'd think that Miami would have some good games in there and could potentially win you something. Something to
Yes.
think about. Good luck on those Miami auctions. Are you going to go after any of those auctions, Zach? Are you going to go after those number ones or those jerseys?
Nope. Nope. I have another plan that I'm going to be rocking, and it doesn't involve in season at the start of season.
Oh, Oh, interesting. Interesting. We'll have to save those for one of the regular podcasts, baby. Yo, this has been the first edition of our season previews. Let us know for real. And I always say this, and y'all never do. Okay. Y'all let us know what you want to see in these previews, what we left out, what you think would be better. We obviously making these for you. We want to give you the information that you want. Obviously, there's still a couple of weeks of the season. People are still going to be moving in and out. But as far as we know, we're starting to get an idea of what there is. We're going to look at whatever stacks, if you do want to go that route, you can do. And then, yeah, we'll vibe. And MLS is around the corner, baby. Thank you so much, Zach, for all your Miami information. Always a pleasure.
Always.
We'll see you again soon on the regular shows, the hour-long shows, the 2-hour-long shows, and we'll vibe again. We'll see y'all soon with the next team. We're going to be talking some Atlanta, probably some Charlotte, see if we can get some familiar faces on the show. Yeah, if you want to come on and represent your team too, hit me up, hit our line. Let's have a conversation and tell me why your team is going to win MLS Cup, because anybody but Messi.